I'm Thelma, and I'm going to continue reading excerpts from Tuli's recently reissued 1960 zine, Yeah, the box set. 1961 was the first issue. You can find Yeah 1 up on YouTube. We're going to read excerpts from 1962, Yeah 2, Yeah 3, Yeah 4, and if we have time, a special Christmas gala done in red and green, Yeah 5. Yeah 2 has on the cover a picture of a tenement of better sort. And let's see. It starts with an insert that says, "Are you a bore?" Well, we hope not. After you listen to this, we hope you won't be bored or be a bore yourself. Now, it starts with February 1962, the first issue. It starts with a poem called A Talk by Yevtushenko. And this is kind of the philosophy of Tuli's zine. They say to me, "You are a brave man." Not true. Courage has never been my sin. I simply considered it unworthy that I should lower myself down to the cowardice of my fellows. I have never tried to shove the world out of its orbit. I wrote. So what? I never informed. I laughed at what was overblown. Falseness I turned to ridicule, and loud enough I sought to state my thoughts. Sometime posterity will remember and will burn with shame when they have done with shame and lies those strange times when common honesty was called courage. That's the first page of Yeah 2. Okay, translated from the Russian, but it doesn't say by who. Now, we have a drawing and a limerick. I'll tell you the story of two, Ray Christian and Norman a Jew. Norman was Tuli's given name. I have thousands, Ray said, of ideas in my head. Take an aspirin, said Norman. Please do. Alright, now we're going to skip some and go on to, let's see. Here are some ads, and Tuli asks, are our leaders suicidal lunatics? Well, maybe homicidal lunatics too. Ample food seen in an atomic attack, and some other ads, and some more poems that I'm going to read you. Light verses to the memory of Florence Foster Jenkins. Do you know who she was? She sang opera satires with a questionable voice. I offer my heart to the lady with eyelids of blue-green. When she closes her eyes, you would think they were turquoise brooches. The heaviest mascara that I have ever seen, Sheba Cleopatra, whom no man casually approaches. Well, she was walking down Lexington Avenue with a lady friend who wore no makeup except lipstick, rouge, and powder. When I saw those painted lips, I knew my search was at an end. My garish girl, whose voice is loud, but whose long red hair is louder. Why is my soul drawn to hers? We're born of different eras. She was having her first fling while I was in toilet training. Though an autumnal type, to me she is worth 10 primaveras. Let me obit around that harvest moon before it starts waning. Why should she turn her fresco face to my young smooth lips? Simple and sexy, I'd be with that complex vessel of experience. No doubt her love throbs and lounges, while mine pants and rips. Nonetheless, I'm going to chase her to one big celebration of sheer variance. And that's by Anthony K., whoever that is. Sometimes hard to look up these people and find who they are. Then we have something by Como Mayamo, class of 1961. The professor believed in breaking wind every time the classroom became quiet, loudly. Part of the reinforcing the symbolic doctrine of realism, he told the department head, Yale 35. The department head, of course, condoned the professor's actions. After all, the professor, Yale 33, had, and only last year, published Volume 1 of a projected 6 on the realistic mysticism of B.V. Thompson as developed in The City of Dreadful Night, the only major work to be done in that field. Certainly the professor was a realist, and something of a mystic, too, to have thought of that subject. Besides, he was the quarry of academic hunting season. Hadn't 4 universities contacted him since Volume 1 appeared? So the professor farted. Okay, if you want any more of this fine story, you have to get Yeah 2 or the box set. Now, at the end, there's on yellow paper, this is all, this is the last page. Tuli has a poem. At the meeting of radicals, I got up and asked, "Why are you so ugly? Why are you all so ugly?" Consternation swept that anarchist nation. It is because the working class, in its trouble, does not give us time our pence to press. This must be Jewish anarchists. You lie, revolting's your escape from beauty and from love. You've thrown away sweet Leda with that trite lecher, Jove. Excuses, all excuses, for your lack of love. It is because you've sinned, nor have embraced with joy sweet government that binds the limbs where girl entwines the storming boy. Tuli Kupferberg. And on the back of this, we find this rather comical waiver and agreement. This certifies that I, the undersigned, a female about to enjoy intercourse with, ... am not under the influence of any drug or narcotic. Neither does he have to use any force, threats, or promise to influence me. I am in no fear of him whatever. Do not expect or want to marry him. Don't know whether he's married or not, and don't care. I am not asleep or drunk, and am entering into this relationship with him because I love and want it as much as he does. And if I receive the satisfaction I expect, I am willing to play an early return engagement. Furthermore, I agree never to appear as a witness against him or to prosecute him under the Man-White Slave Act. Now, this is supposedly for a woman to sign. Okay, if you want to see any more of Yeah 2, you might want to get the whole box set, which is available on Amazon and other sources. Reasonable for a bunch of pamphlets, which are now very rare. Okay? Now, we're going to go on to Yeah 3, which is The Mild Power Subdues. This is the cover. Okay? 25 cents. Yeah, A Chronicle of the Last Days. Carpe Diem. Editor Tuli Kupferberg, June 1962. Subscription $1 for the next 4 issues. Birth Press, 381 East 10th Street. The first poem by Tuli is, "A funny thing happened to me today on the way to the crematorium. I fell in life. Huh. Huh. Okay. Now, we have some poems by someone named John Sweenhart. I can't find, I looked him up on Google and can't seem to find him. First one, A Question of Taste. What fruit tastes more delicious than wet kisses? Okay. Now, this one is by Bridget Murnaghan Merritt, who I also could not find. For my Annie, dance your wild jig, my love, for then and only then can I know the sorrow and the joy of not knowing what my youth was for." You hear birds chirping in the background. That's my clock. Okay, now here are 2 more poems by this unknown poet, John Sweenhart. First one is called Lucille. Under her tossed brown hair, no thoughts fretted her, and her beauty didn't trouble her at all. She frowned or smiled, or was far away wistful. She popped kisses, strictly on the whisk of a whim. She dropped off lingerie as a full-bloomed rose drops petals, and emerged smooth, naked, as if all clothes were afterthoughts. She jumped into bed like a frog plunking into a pool. Yes, just like that, she was there. What is love? In the morning I was surprised. There she was still, looking so childlike, serene in her sleep, that only a brute would dare awaken her. Leaning on my elbow, long gazing down at her, I almost forgot what a wicked world we live in. That's nice. Now the next poem that he wrote is kind of a breakup poem. Romance on the Wane, it's called. The day she tried to stuff me down the trash disposal chute, I thought it was her own peculiar way of acting cute. When she bashed me on the head with a chair by Duncan Fife, I thought she was expressing just her natural lust for life. But my concern about her feeling for me seriously grew when she put carbon tetrachloride in my stew. When she winged me with a blast from my hunting gun, I decided there was a limit to what we call fun. When she tried to run me down with our brand new car, I told myself, she's carrying things a bit too far. It was then that I began to appear mighty plain, that our happy romance must be somewhat on the wane. But the whole situation really came to a head on that melancholy night she put a bear trap in my bed. Altogether, her behaviors got me feeling pretty sore. I'll be honest, I don't think I really love her anymore. That's John Sweenhart, whoever and wherever he is. And next we have some more poems and some ads. Here. Now, one of these is Field's Matrimonial Service, where you can also find on Tuli's Pop Poetry No Deposit, No Return album. Tuli does a reading of this. This is a matrimonial service, Widow 56, worth $300,000. Widow 60, attractive, worth $300,000. Widow 48, real estate, $200,000. Ladies, Don't worry if you are not financially secure. Come in and we will get your lifetime companion just as well. Widowers, all ages, healthy, earners, sincere, with good income, looking for refined ladies to marry. Means not necessary. Doctors, engineers, dentists, lawyers, manufacturers, chemists, pharmacists, druggists, businessmen, all established, wealthy, looking for refined ladies who need not have money. Young ladies, 17 to 32, parents are willing to give 5,000 to 100,000 dowry. Appointments for out-of-towners. And some other ads. You should get a copy of Tuli's pop poetry album, No Deposit, No Return, if you can find it. Has ads like this. And what else do we have here? Okay. What time do we have? 16 minutes. Some more poetry and drawings, and also that you will also find in the pop poetry album. As far back as 1962, Tuli had this sap glove ad on the back of year 3. Now, we're up to year 4, incorporating Kill magazine, which is a very, very strange insert. Let's see. Now, we have another poem at the beginning here on blue paper by Yevtushenko. This is interesting, so I will read it to you. It starts with Bertolt Brecht. On my wall, a wooden mask, face of an evil Japanese fiend, lacquered in gold. I see with sympathy, the swollen veins on his brow showing how exhausting it is to be evil. Bertolt Brecht, yeah, a satiric excursion, a sardonic review, a sarcastic epitome, a chronicle of the last days. Editor Tuli Kupferberg, September 1962. $1 for the next 4 issues, or until the end of the world, whichever is shorter. 29 artists to triple in price, as it said in the pop poetry album, No Deposit, No Return. Okay, Beatnik's monologue by Yevtushenko. The 20th century has often deceived us, has imposed its lies upon us like a tax. As quick as puffballs have ideas disappeared before the wind of life. And there was one sure defense, like the sharp taunts of kids, not too recondite and yet not too obvious either. Irony. Aha, Tuli loves it. It was a wall or a dam, serendipitous protection against the flood of lies, and our hands scornfully applaud, and our feet sneeringly march. Then they can write about us, make films from written nonsense. We let them, but when we're alone, we laugh at the whole business. We elevate ourselves by what we despise. And all this is true. But when one looks deeper, you become transformed. Irony from our savior to our destroyer. Our friendships are hypocritical. We remain on guard. We love only half-heartedly, like a coward. And it appears that our presence is only a fake past. Restless, we wander through life and history. Characters like Faust, damned from the beginning, with devilish cackling, irony follows us like a shadow. In vain we try to tear ourselves away. The way forward and the road back is blocked. Irony, we've sold you our souls. We don't even get a Margaret for it. That's the woman in Faust. You've buried us alive. We're powerless with bitter knowledge. And our weary irony laughs ironically, even at ourselves. Okay. You have Tushenko's Beatnik's monologue. Let's see, what else do we have here? This is this Kill magazine, which is really against murder, but it's all about bombings and murder. It's an insert. Let's see what else we have here. It says, dedicated to the annihilation of the enemies of the white people, a year extra. Authentic reproduction. It's got a skull on it, and what is this? Some of the titles here. The Importance of Killing is the first piece. Down with Reds and Race Mixtures, Communism Must Perish. The American National Party, the White Working Man's Party. Farewell to a Crucified Martyr, Adolf Eichmann. Cover story, Persecution in Paris. This is all tongue-in-cheek, you realize. And then there are white man symbols of the past. Over here, one is the swastika. I don't know what the other ones are, but there's some pictures of them. It's symbol of the future. Swastika, fasces, phalange, yoke, arrow, cross. I don't know what these are. American National Party. More about Eichmann. And what else do we have? OAS obliterates enemies of the white people. Moscow Reds cry outlaw war propaganda. Term murder of 6 infants accidental. Yeah, they're still doing it, aren't they? White man's history 21 years ago. Is Kennedy anti-Catholic? Half-breed immigrants on the march in New York. Nigger nurse. The Importance of Killing. Well, impeach the traitor, John F. Kennedy. This is before his murder, for giving aid and comfort to enemies of the USA. Of course, this is tongue-in-cheek. No, it's satire. Writes poem, shoots self. Okay, what else do we have here? A picture of a cigarette, and it says, "You have been warned." In 1962, yes, people were already warned about cigarettes. Okay? Let's see. This is a good one. 3 Prophets. This is by Leigh Hoffman. I don't know who this is, but the title of this piece is 3 Prophets. Russia interests me but little. I think that it will become a sort of fat, complacent, second-rate United States. Well, yes, it has. This is right. This prophecy was done in 1962. It is rapidly adopting the American economic vision because the revolution cleared a way for it. When the country became properly Americanized, say in 50 years, when the country becomes properly Americanized, say in 50 years, it will be producing hordes and hordes of Russian Harold Bell Wrights and Edgar Guests, while the one-time Dostoevsky will have become merely classical legends like Shakespeare in England today. This is true. I do not expect to live long enough to see anything, but trash out of the metamorphosis. Again true. The country will become industrialized, radioized, movieized, and standardized. The huge population of illiterate peasants will be taught how to read advertisements, newspapers, and Bibles. The country will placidly settle down to the preoccupation of money grubbing. Yes, indeed. Okay. This next one is too difficult to read. Some of these are really difficult. And at the end, Tuli Kupferberg says, breasts, not cannons, food power, not firepower, biology, not psychology, orgone, not radiation, neutrality, not neutron bombs, melons, not metrocal, booze et al., not anti-booze et al., books, not anti-books, arms of flesh, not arms of steel, sex, not anti-sex, love, not death. That's nice thought, Tuli. And what else do we have here? Another satirical, "We want war," is on the back. It says, "Red Russia must perish. To remain free, America must attack and destroy the nerve center of the communist conspiracy while we still have the strength to win. We demand an end to all talks of coexistence. We demand an immediate declaration of war against the Soviet Union. Communism must perish, better dead than red, the American National Party. Let's bury them before they bury us." And this is the picture. Of course, this is a Cold War satire. He doesn't mean this. Okay, we have 1 more minute to go. The next one is Year 5. It's a Christmas special. This is pretty funny. I wish I had had it for Christmas. But if you want to get these books, you can still get them online.